you're a busy guy that has belly fat right now and you feel like you're doing everything right, your metabolism is probably the missing piece. Most busy men like you are sitting for long hours at a time at their computer or doing some sedentary work that leads to their metabolism getting slower and slower over time. But the good news is that you can lose belly fat while managing your busy schedule and even without having to track or count calories. So today I'm going to walk you through the 5 simple step process that will take you from having some belly fat to having a flat stomach by fixing your metabolism. So before we dive in, we should go over why you should listen to me in the first place. I've helped dozens of career-driven men all around the world get a flat stomach, usually within less than 3 months, while managing their busy career and without having to count or track calories meticulously. And I'm an apprentice of a medical doctor with 40 plus years of clinical experience. So as you watch this video, you're gonna notice that I'm not gonna be giving the general advice that is usually given in the fitness space. We're actually going to be addressing the root cause of why you have this belly fat in the first place, and that's usually a hormonal compartment problem that can be fixed and can be addressed simplistically. So if at any point you want to learn more about this approach, the main video going over this approach in detail is going to be linked below on the top of the video description, as well as a link to our transformations of men getting a flat stomach, as well as a form that you can fill out if you would like to work with me one-on-one. Now, step number 1 is to prioritize weight training over cardio. The more muscle mass you have, the higher your metabolism will go. And a lot of you guys that are watching this video may be doing some weight training, but you may not be doing as much as you think you should. And if that's you, that's probably one of the bigger reasons why you're stuck with some belly fat right now. If somebody has north of 100 pounds of what's called skeletal muscle mass, which simply means the muscle mass outside of your bones, versus somebody that has, let's say, 60 pounds of skeletal muscle mass, the person with 120 pounds of muscle is going to be burning fuel much faster and much more efficiently than the person that has 60 pounds of muscle. The reason for that is because muscles need fuel, need energy to thrive and survive. So as your muscles get bigger, the demand for fuel will go up. So that's why it's a lot easier for you to eat more in the way of food and lose more in the way of body fat whenever you're making weight training the main priority. And that was absolutely the case for Steve, who's a network engineer who went from this year, having a lot in the way of belly fat, having a flat stomach by June, and we started working together in March. So that's just about a few months apart. And now this is what he looks like well down the line, still doing some weight training 4 to 5 times a week. He's jacked now. And he was able to see these results right before his wedding. He lost 20 pounds within just 1 month. So I'm not saying cardio is evil, but if you make cardio the main component of your routine, then you're not going to be getting as much in the way of metabolic benefits as you would be getting from weight training, because you're not boosting your muscle mass as much. Now, step 2 is to eat more in the way of animal-based protein, and there's a few reasons for this. With animal-based protein, it is more bioavailable, meaning that I can actually use and absorb more of the nutrient content in comparison to plants, because plants actually safeguard and defend their nutrients, making them less bioavailable, meaning that I cannot absorb as much of those nutrients. And that also applies to the essential amino acids that are held within animals. Simply put, essential amino acids help you build more muscle, right? And animal foods have all 9 of them, and they are ready for you to use once you actually eat them. Plus, it's a lot more enjoyable to eat chicken, ribeyes, ground beef, and seafood after a long day of work at the office in comparison to eating a cute little salad. Now, whenever you eat more in the way of these animal foods, you are able to absorb the nutrients more, and you're getting more of the essential amino acids that are helping you build more muscle. You build more muscle and you boost your metabolic rate even more. And that's exactly what we want. And you're not able to get those same benefits if you're not eating enough in the way of animal-based protein. And it doesn't mean you have to get meticulous and track the grams of protein that you're eating each day. It just means that you need to be getting it in each time you eat. So every single time you eat, you should have 1 animal food on your plate ready to go, right? So that way you can get fully satiated, meaning that you're feeling full just because it's so nutrient rich, and you're gonna be getting all the additional benefits that come with you boosting your muscle mass by eating that animal protein, which will therefore allow you to lose more in the way of belly fat. Now, step 3 is much different than what you're used to hearing, but it's actually to eat more in the way of food so you can lose more in the way of body fat. But how does this actually work? It comes back to our previous points, right? If you have more in the way of muscle mass, the demand for fuel is now higher. Your body now needs more fuel because we have to nourish these muscles that are bigger than they were before. So once you're in that position, you can get away with eating more in the way of food as long as the food quality is on point. As long as this food is nutrient dense, it's going to make you feel full, and it's not going to spike your blood sugar levels and put you in a position to store body fat. It's not going to spike the hormone that is responsible for you storing fat, which is insulin. You're good. There's foods that either put you in a position to store fat and foods that don't. If you're eating more in the way of animal foods and natural sourced carbohydrates, such as fruits and vegetables, you are literally stacking every little odd in your favor to lose more in the way of belly fat and to slowly get a flat stomach over time, as long as you do that consistently, along with the other points that we're talking about. And if you do this, you continue to do weight training, you continue to eat animal-based protein every single time you eat, you will be able to eat more. And this is exactly what we did for Sonny, who lost 17 pounds in his first month, and he worked long hours at his desk, just like you guys, and he lost a ridiculous amount of belly fat in just about 2 months. Those two pictures there are literally just about 2 months apart. You can do the exact same thing. You can still eat more in the way of food and lose more body fat. You just need to make sure that you're following the 2 previous steps that we just went over, doing more in the way of weight training and eating more in the way of high quality, high nutrient dense animal foods. And if you want to see amazing results like Sonny, there's a form down below on the top, middle, and bottom of the video description that you can click on and fill out if you want to learn more about how I can help you get a flat stomach. Step number 4 is to get any sort of movement in during the day. Even if you're just getting in 4,000 to 5,000 steps, that's way better than getting just 1,000 to 2,000. And that's usually just the steps of you going to pick up your cup of coffee from the coffee maker right back into your desk at work. You need to be getting a lot more than that. You guys usually have breaks for lunch, you have time in the morning, you have time after work. There is time, you just have to make time for what's important. And if your health is at the top of the priority list, you will make time for it, which most of you guys will if you are committed. And if you're not, this video is most likely not for you anyway. But getting back to the point, you will be able to lose more in the way of body fat and raise your what's called basal metabolic rate, which is the rate of fuel that your body burns at rest if you're getting more steps in. So you're actually able to burn more in the way of energy if you're moving more. And I know this would definitely get confused with the move more and eat less paradigm, which I'm certainly against. But if you are staying active and you are increasing your basal metabolic rate, you won't necessarily have to control calories as long as the food quality is on point. As long as you're getting satiated, the food is nutrient dense, and this food is not putting you in a position to store body fat, it is not spiking the hormone that is responsible for you storing body fat, you will be good. And you'll get more in the way of those benefits, those fat loss benefits, a flatter stomach, if you're getting north of 5,000 steps in a day, which is going to be crucial for you guys that work long hours at your desk. Now, the final step, step number 5, is to optimize your sleep and make sure you are always getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep at a time. Because if you're not, literally every other step that we just went over will mean absolutely nothing. Your muscles aren't going to be able to recover, your metabolic rate will slow down, and there's plenty of controlled data, controlled research showing that if you sleep less, if you're not getting enough in the way of dream sleep, not getting enough in the way of deep non-REM sleep, the rate at which you burn fuel is going to go down. So the whole point of this video is about fixing your metabolism. And if you crash the one thing that is screwing it up right now, you're not going to be able to see any of the benefits that we just went over. So that is the absolute foundation of your metabolism, is your sleep. There is nothing more restorative and more critical for your metabolic health than your sleep. Whatever you have to do to make sure you go to bed on time, whether it's setting an alarm, setting a reminder, holding yourself accountable, getting someone else to push you, it does not matter. Because if your sleep is off, your sleep sucks, your metabolism will suck too, 100%. So if your sleep sucks, if you're sleeping under 6 to 5 hours a night, it does not matter how hard you work out or how great your diet is, you're not going to see any benefits from either of the sort, especially with your belly fat. If your metabolic rate stays low, you're not going to be able to unlock the body fat stores around your stomach. And it's already hard enough to do that, and you are stacking the odds against you if your sleep sucks. So make sure it doesn't suck. If you take action on literally all 5 of those things, you will without a doubt be able to get a flat stomach in a very short period of time, as long as you take action for you and your future self in the present. But if you need help doing that, you need a little bit more in the way of structure, a little bit more in the way of accountability to make this work for your busy schedule, then click the link on the top, middle, or bottom of the video description. There's going to be a form there that you can fill out to apply to work with me. And if I feel like you are a good fit to join the program, we'll be personally reaching out to you to see if I can help. But other than that, that is it for this video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at itsbobbyobrien, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.